Hello everyone, my name is Daniel Wright. Welcome back to my channel. So this video is not going to be edited at all. This video, I've got my mic in the shot on purpose for a reason. I kind of wanted to give this a good podcast vibe so that I can kind of celebrate and mention the fact that my friend Sydney has started her own podcast. I will put on the screen here her channel. It is called Nothing in Particular Podcast. The channel name itself is called Spare Part. So they've just got that started and up and running. The quality actually sounds amazing. I'm very blown away by how it sounds. And they've done an introductory podcast so far. And then they've kind of dived into their first topic, depending on when you're watching this. Now, this video is not just a plug for me to put in exactly what her channel is. This is actually for me to kind of catch all of my subscribers up on what's happening in my life. I've done these every once in a while, but this one's going to be a little bit of a longer one because of everything that's happened recently. You guys watch my tech videos, you guys watch my channel. Some of you have been with me from the very beginning, and I really appreciate every single one of you that have. So when I go a month or a couple weeks without posting a video, I do feel like I owe all of you an explanation. This is not edited, and sometimes I stumble on my words a lot, trying to say what I want to say. So, in the past month, I have had a lot of issues with my grandmother being sick. And for those of you who have followed me from the very beginning, I have helped with my grandparents. They raised me. I helped with taking care of them. Last year, my grandfather passed. Which, it was hard on everyone, but he struggled with dementia and Alzheimer's for a very long time. I think it was like 4 or 5 years, and he finally passed, and he's not hurting anymore, and he's not, confused or struggling, and I'm extremely grateful for that. But I do miss him, and it was a big, huge thing for me because he was the only father figure I had in my life. And then that left my grandmother, which everyone always says that once, a husband goes, it may or may not be very long for the spouse goes, especially if they're an elderly couple. And my grandparents had been together for like 50 years. So this was kind of a big deal. So then I started extremely worrying about her, to the point where even if I didn't have anything to do, which I did because I had 2 jobs and was borderline working myself to death, I couldn't sleep at night because I would just lay in bed and I would worry about her. So and I still do. So that is something that I'm still struggling with, and I'm trying to get better. But it's been about a month. I think it's been about a month. Maybe a little longer. She fell, broke her hip, had to have a total hip replacement. She went to the hospital. She was in there for like maybe a week and a half. They sent her to a rehab facility. While she was at the rehab facility, she kind of declined, got into an emergency status, had to go back to the hospital. I won't give exact details on everything. But she was pretty much unconscious for a while. She's okay now, kind of. They sent her back to the rehab facility for like 2.5 more weeks. Now she's in a nursing home because she's so confused. She doesn't know who some of us are. So it's been an uphill battle and a struggle. I'm down to 1 job because I couldn't handle 2. I couldn't handle it. And speaking of 1 job, I have a different job than the original two. It's a completely different job. So not only did I go from 2 jobs to 1 job, but I went from 2 jobs to 1 job that was a completely separate position, which was a big change for me. And that all happened within the time span of my grandmother breaking her hip. So not only was I dealing with that, but I'm dealing with my family as well, because family is number one. Family is number one. Always. Will always be. So, on that note, not only is that something that I still am having a lot of stress over, but I treat every single one of my subscribers as more than just a number. Because, I just imagine standing in front of all of you all, as if you all are my friends, because that's really how I treat this YouTube channel. And it's a big deal when you go a month without talking to 1,300 people, or you just automatically stop making YouTube videos, because I had been doing this for almost 5 years now, and I know I'm only at 1,300 subscribers, almost 1,400, I think. But this is something that I really wanted to do for myself, and I wanted to talk to other people and post videos and make creative content that like I had been doing. So since this is kind of like a podcast set up video, and I'm not going to be editing this at all, I wanted this to be very raw and discuss a couple issues on top of my explanation. So I'm sure you have noticed in the tech community, since this is a tech channel, has been at least, everything to me, and I'm sure to a lot of other people, everything has been so watered down that it's not as interesting as it was. I can promise you that, and I'm sure a lot of you will agree with me. But my front runner has always been Apple. I've had iPhones since I was 16 years old. I've been obsessed with MacBook computers. I've been obsessed with, iPhones, Apple Watches, the whole thing I've been obsessed with. And since I've started this YouTube channel, I've been able to heavily analyze what I'm interested in. And that is a good thing, and it's also a bad thing, because since I've started analyzing why I like tech and what it is that I like about tech, I've been able to pinpoint exactly what piques my interest. And it's the fact that it evolves and there's always something new to learn. Even with my jobs or any aspect in my life, if I'm not learning something new or discovering something new, I get bored, and it's not necessarily interesting to me. I think that's one of the reasons why I did so well in school, and I put myself through college, and I was able to do so because I was constantly learning something new. If I had questions unanswered, I wanted the answer right then, and I would do anything and everything I can to get that answer. And so and that's what made me interested about tech, is because just when you think you've mastered a device or you think there's something new, then they'll release a better version of a device, or they'll release a new component or a part that you can plug into your current device, and it does something entirely new. There's so many different ways to customize everything that I was never bored. I was never done or over it. And the way that everything has been growing recently, it piqued my interest, and it still does. Don't get me wrong, it still does. But when you stop and you look at the bigger picture here, which is something that I have done recently in the past several months, You see a pattern. And when you personally see the pattern, that's when it did it for me. Because one company is going to release a product that is cool and new and revolutionary. And in this case, I'm talking about the very beginning of the iPhone, the very first iPhone. Let's start there. If we're going to look at the big picture, let's just drag this out. Let's just go for it. So when the first iPhone was released, it was new and innovative, and it had technology that no one had ever seen before. And someone created a grid display on a phone that was a touchscreen, and it allowed you to do so many things that you had never done before. And everyone's interest was piqued. That's why Apple soared as a company, and that they sell more iPhones than they do any other product in their line, because this was a new piece of technology that was groundbreaking. And for the first few years, they built upon that technology, and they improved it, and they expanded on it, and it was a big deal, and it was amazing. And then other companies started coming in, like Android, with Samsung releasing something very similar. And they did put their own original spin on it, and that's, interesting and all. But it was all at a cheaper cost, so that also appealed to the market. But then, somewhere along the line, it started getting drug out. And for those of you watching this on video, because some of this audio is going to be displayed everywhere, I talk a lot with my hands. So, that's something that I just do. So sorry, whatever. But this idea and this concept has been drug out and added to for so long. And the price point has been raised over the years so high that I'm bored, because it's the same idea. It had just been added to, and the price has been raised every single year. It's the same case with any company doing this. You have a basic smartphone, and basic smartphone, I'm not talking about flip phone. Everyone's concept of the beginning starter pack of a phone when manufacturing is the same. It is kind of like a rectangular bar with an LCD screen and a grid display of icons that you can click on, and it is just basically built up caches of data that takes you to a web page. It doesn't really look like a web page anymore because it's within an app, and it allows you to share and exchange data. So I'm bored, because since the original iPhone has come out, yes, add-ons like cameras and bokeh effects and streaming services and YouTube, and there's so many different add-ons to this, but when it boils down to it, it's still the very basic form of the original technology that was invented. It's just now it costs $1,500 to get the newest version of it, and to be honest with you, I'm not comfortable paying that much money anymore. But I don't want to pay 10 times more for something when it's still the same basic concept and no one is trying to do anything new. My interest is not being piqued anymore, because no one's doing anything innovative. No one's trying to do anything other than the safe zone that makes you money. That's the problem here. These larger companies, and if it sounds like I'm jumping around a lot, it's probably because I have so many ideas and things that I want to say to you running through my head that I can't stay on the same tangent. But every single thing that I'm talking about boils down to this basic concept of the grid display, with technology. No one's trying to actually be innovative. They're just trying to build upon concepts that have been made in the past. So that's why I'm bored, because I'm not learning anything new. I'm not trying to do new things. I'm not trying to understand new concepts. It's all the same concept, just displayed in different ways so that these companies can make money. And I don't want to spend a lot of money on the same concept. I don't want to spend a lot of money on something that's not new and innovative. And that bothers me, because if you come out with something like something else groundbreaking and amazing and new, then yeah, I will give you my money. I will take this. It would be amazing. And some companies like Apple and Samsung and Huawei are like making foldable phones. So, you can also come back at me and say, well, companies are trying to be innovative and groundbreaking, and they are trying to invent the next big thing because they're trying something new. But I don't believe that, because everything that the previous phone devices have had is very utilitarian. There's a use for every single bit of it. So someone was like, hey, you want to watch videos on your phone? Well, here, download the YouTube app, or rent this movie from iTunes, or, watch this movie here on your phone, or, things like that. There's a utilitarian use for that because it provides entertainment to you. You want to read this magazine or this book? Here, download iBooks. That's another add-on. So all of that has a use. But a foldable phone, I've seen tons of YouTubers come up, including me, posting a video saying, why do you need that? You have a tablet, like an iPad or a Samsung tablet, whatever, or you have a phone, or both. So why do you need a foldable phone? You don't. I can't think of a use for it. Foldable technology, yes, like the things they're doing, wallpaper TVs and things like that. I completely see, a possible use for that, and I think that is interesting technology because of the way that the molecular structure has to be in order for an LCD screen to be flexible. That's amazing. But why do you need a foldable phone? You don't. You don't need one at all. So I'm bored because I'm grasping at straws, trying to find new concepts and things like that to keep me interested. And I feel like I'm in limbo, waiting for something to spark my interest again. Earlier this year in my channel, I posted an ASMR video, which everyone really seemed to like. So I think I might make some more of those because you ask, I will try to do it. That's what I've been saying on my channel always. I did a Photoshop tutorial because I like to do photography. Shameless plug, my Instagram is in the description box of this video. But those were testing waters, and I got really, really excited about doing those things because it piqued my interest. It was a new concept. It was something that I hadn't done before. So I was completely on board with it, and I wanted to make that video for you guys. And I did, and you guys liked them, and I'm going to make more of those with different subtopics. I'll do different pictures, different, things like that I'm interested in. But just talking about the exact same companies over and over again just to post a video and get some views and make monies, that's really bothering me, and I don't want to do that. Well, am I going to stop making tech videos? No, because I like tech. When something new comes out, I will make a video about it. But if it's just like the new iPhone that looks exactly the same like it has for the past 3 years because they're using the same design and form factor, that's boring. I don't want to talk about that. You probably don't want to see that. But a new piece of technology that no one's ever heard of or seen, That's interesting. Let's look at that. So those are the types of videos that I'm going to be making from here on out. It's always going to be about new concepts in tech, and something that I'm genuinely interested in doing. I'm still going to post like ASMR videos or these kind of sit down podcast type things, some gameplay, some stuff that I like to do in my normal life. I hope that you would like to watch with me. So don't think of this as I'm shutting my channel down, because I'm not. I want you to think of this as I've gotten bored with the same thing over and over again. This talking to you about the new iPhone every year, talking to you about the new Apple Watch every year. I'm talking to you about the same thing every single year. I don't want to do that anymore. It's boring. So I'm going to start doing things like this. I'm going to make a Spotify account. I'm going to make an iTunes account. I'm going to post these types of podcasts that I'm going to be doing on my channel everywhere for everyone to listen to. Because I do want my voice to be heard about these types of topics. And maybe after listening to this, you can think, well, they have been doing the exact same thing, and they have been taking our money and raising the price and selling us the exact same thing every single year. Why aren't we getting something new? And maybe that will force these companies into a corner to where they're going to have to do something for us, because if we're giving them billions and billions of dollars for the exact same thing every single year, just different versions of it, I don't think that's fair. I personally think that, they've been scamming us, and I feel guilty because I've been a sheep for so long. But that whole thing, looking at this pattern as a whole, is what's making me bored. In every aspect of my life, my purchases, my YouTube channel, things that I find creative, I don't really find creative anymore because it's the same thing over and over and over again. And I want to break that mold and just kind of talk to you about things like this. If I watch something interesting, like a movie, I would maybe I can break it down on this channel and talk about the concept and why I found it interesting. The creator aspect of it is cool, and what we should be talking about. We shouldn't be talking about the same thing over and over again. But I don't want to get off on too many tangents for this video, especially since this is it started out with a plug in the beginning with my friend's podcast, and then I kind of went off on my own thing, explaining why I got bored. But the purpose of this video was not to confuse you or to branch off on different tangents. The purpose of this video in this podcast episode was to try to pull you into the same way of thinking as me. At the end of this video, I hope you're like, he's right. I'm spending thousands of dollars on the same thing every single year. I need to not do that. And some of my friends are going to be watching this and thinking he is extremely hypocritical because, yes, I've spent thousands of dollars on the same thing every single year. But I don't want to do that anymore. And I don't want to talk about the same concepts anymore. So that's that. I'm not going to change the name of my channel because as of right now, I'll put a picture up here too. You can see it still says Daniel Wright. And then the background says Tech Wright. I'm probably going to change that. You will have tech videos still, but you're also going to have videos about everything else. And whether I get successful in that or not, I don't care. I didn't start out doing this for money. I started out doing this because I think it's interesting to get your voice out there and be heard and to do things that you like to do. And for those of you who've been watching this video or my channel this entire time, I've had a lot of struggle with the pressure to do the same thing over and over and to just consistently put out videos. And I don't care about that anymore. I care about being me and doing things that are new and interesting. So I'm going to have ASMR on here. I'm going to have gameplay on here. I'm going to have tech videos still. It's all going to be a similar topic or in a similar niche, because it's all going to be me and my life. And I don't care what anybody else says. So if you have a new topic or you want something interesting on here or for me to try out, drop it in the comments below. And if you're not watching this on YouTube, then you can email me, or click on or go find my YouTube channel. You'll just have to type in Daniel Scott Wright on any social media link or website at all, and you can find me. But I'm done being bored. I'm done being the same old thing that everyone else is. So if you would like to continue that journey with me, you can follow me on any social media website you want. Subscribe to me on YouTube. I'll be on Spotify. I'll be on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Tumblr, Snapchat, whatever you want to do. But at this point, I don't think I care anymore. I just care about new things and new people and concepts and stuff like that. So I love every single one of you. That hasn't changed. I do want you to like this video. That hasn't changed. Drop those comments down below. Subscribe to my channel. And I'm stopping this video because I have no idea how long this was, because I don't have my other monitor on so I can see what I'm looking at. So I hope you guys have a good day, and stay tuned for the next video on my channel, whatever it is that may be. Bye.